my name is Dillon Bacon. Do you and I from another planet? Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And, you know, there are many pundits. This is a bit of an incredible time I think we're living through. There are many pundits right now who are saying that, you know, the events of this week, especially later in this week, really represent the end of liberty and freedom and democracy within, you know, the world's biggest superpower. Which most people think will be the end of that superpower. This is not me saying it. These are like crazy things pundits say, but you know, everybody was saying, you know, the things we saw on Capitol Hill were absolutely tragic. I think we can all agree we saw real tragedy. I would say to them, I would say to anybody saying that who feels that, even if what you're saying is correct, even if what you're saying is true, I've seen the season finale of Star Trek Discovery season 3, and even if we just witnessed the end of a government for and by the people, even if that happened, Star Trek Discovery is worse. Star Trek Discovery is worse! It's freaking awful! So, like, I just want to put that kind of scale in before we start it. Now, I have a theory, and that theory is that Star Trek Discovery is, in fact, have you ever seen the movie Brazil, right? Movie Brazil, a great movie. It's a bit of a slog to watch. But I think, yeah, Terry Gilliam, one of his best movies, my favorite movie, one of his top 3 movies, I'll say. If you are interested, I'd like The Adventure of Baron Munchausen and The Fisher King. I think those are his 3 best movies. But Brazil, fantastic movie. So in the end, it's like an Orwellian fantasy on acid. Basically how I would, yeah, Orwellian fantasy on acid, and you're not having a good trip. But the end of it, you know, everything starts going incredibly well. Going incredibly right. He's like about to be tortured to death by the looks of it. And then he's rescued and he meets up with his love and who he thinks was dead, and everything is wonderful and everything just gets better and better and better. And it turns out it is all his insane delusion in the torturer's chair. Like, everything is his insane. So much the same way, I believe Star Trek Discovery is the insane delusion of the character of Michael Burnham. Or another great example. You know, remember Total Recall, right? When you have the about 3/4 of the way through the movie, you have the little fat guy representative turns up on Mars, and he says, "Yes, no, I'm an implant been put in this. You were given this thing. You thought you would be a spy, but now it's cascading out of control. I'm your doorway out. If you don't follow me, it's gonna get a lot crazier, right?" And he's like, but Arnold Schwarzenegger, why are you sweating then? This, oh damn, and he shoots him, right? And all of a sudden the ball blows up and it gets a lot crazier, right? Same thing. That is Star Trek Discovery. This is Michael Burnham's insanity-fueled delusions, and God only knows, Alec Kurtzman's as well. Utter garbage. So before we go and give you a detailed review, this is going to go on for a while. Buckle up, buckaroos. I've got 9 pages of notes, and they're all awful, right? It's all of incredible suck. Before we start, can you hit the like button? That'd be great. Can you hit that share button? That would be amazing. But mostly, hit the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button today. Make a rabbi happy. You know, I don't think you get many opportunities to do that. So, you know, I'd like to give you opportunities for new and exciting things. Of course, as a little bonus for you, if you subscribe, you can enter my weekly competitions. Judge Dredd, the Complete Case Files Volume 10. Volume 10 is the prize. Freaking awesome prize this week. Tons of great stories from like 86, 87. No mega epics, just great story after great story after great story with fantastic art by wonderful artists at the beginning of their career. So anyway, let's talk about Star Trek. Oh yeah, go check the video notes, everything you need to win it. Should let you know to win it. Subscribe to the channel, in the comments leave the hashtag Zarja, as I said. Go check the video notes. In the video notes, of course, you will also find this link to my Indiegogo. It's a sign up for your email sign an email sign up list. I'm launching this month. I'm too busy. That's the trouble. I'm too bloody busy. I got to finish I got to work out the tiers, work out the shipping, and do the promo videos, right? As soon as I get that done, I hope to get this up, but I got just a ton more work coming. Hope to get it done this month. We're going to launch the campaign, but add your email address to the list. That would be really fantastic. The link is right there. Thank you very much. I tell you, for the amount I suffered for you for Star Trek Discovery, Yeah, you can be freaking emotionless, okay? It's so bad. Okay, so it starts off with the recap. And weirdly, we have another person saying, previously on Star Trek Discovery, some English woman, but she sounds like English isn't her first language. It's a bit weird. It sounds like maybe she's deaf. You know, when you have deaf people when they learn to speak, it's like, sometimes it's not 100% right. Although I have quite good friends who both parents are deaf, but the children aren't. But the children learnt to speak kind of like deaf people, which is and we do take the piss out of them for it because that's the type of terrible people we are, but we do it to their face, so you know it's not maliciously behind their back. So yeah, so we got the recap going on, and the recap's saying, oh my god, how awful is Star Trek Discovery? Why are you showing me this stuff over and over again? The holodeck stuff is absolutely awful. They're on this like was it Dr. Gay and Saru on this ship, which is a big holodeck apparently. Well, yeah, and they're holosize, right? So so instead of Saru being a Kelpie, now he's a human. I think what's his name? Want to get the makeup for a couple of weeks, and Dr. Gay is Bajoran and whatever. But the hollowness it still shows that even though they've been physically altered by the holodeck, it's still they're getting radiation burns because they're on this dilithium planet. So and the radiation burns are showing up through their false skin that the holiday. It's a sort of terrible science, that always takes second place to the fills on Star Trek Discovery, and it just I just don't think it really appeals to Star Trek fans. It's one of the reasons I just don't think it appeals to Star Trek fans. Adira shows up with medicine, and again she put the medicine inside her mouth to teleport in, to beam him. Why would that work? Again, it changes your physical presence. I don't know. And it got rid of like the tricorders and stuff. I don't know why it wouldn't detect that. But she did that, and she gives the medicine. But then Grey is there, and everybody can see Grey. Grey is made flesh by the holodeck. And Grey, by the way, is the agonizingly bad boyfriend. So Adira is like the 16-year-old binary non-girl whose boyfriend was a trill, and they act like they've been married for like 60 years when they haven't. They're a couple of kids, and it's just weird. It's just really weird. So he's when a trill is like this little slug thing that goes inside you, and it outlives the human host, and it's like a joined species, not like a whatever. So when a previous the slug outlives the body and goes to a new body, those old bodies then just become a thing of like live in memory of the new host sort of thing, and they can interact with them a little bit. But now there's a way now, like Grey, the 16-year-old kid, is now corporeal as a Vulcan for some reason. Vulcan with blue hair. Back in Starfleet though, the big battle's going down as Discovery is been taken over by Cyrus. Not a bad villain. I think they should have made it a little bit more sexy, but yeah, not a bad villain. While her bigger ship is outside Starfleet, and the big battle going on, and oh boy, does it suck hard. Does that suck? It's a very, very bad battle. It's just hate to say it, it's a very girly battle. It's like blue, 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 and there's like lots of J.J. Abrams camera spinning crap. Oh god, it's awful. Voyager gets a name check because why not? And yeah, it's the whole, again, more spinning, more JJ stuff, and so it's not it makes me nauseous, but not quite as nauseous as Tilly and the bridge crew attacking Osiris's people with those teeny tiny servo robots that we've never seen before. The dots, we've never really seen them before, but they've always been there. And honestly, this Gorilla Falls to me looks more like the Muppet Babies, right? They're the Muppet Babies. They're all like kind of soft with soft edges, cutesy wootsy, and so it makes sense. It makes sense that the Muppet Babies are Muppet Babies in space. So it makes sense that Tilly is in charge of him, is a leader of the Muppet, because that's kind of what she looks like, isn't it? And then Osiris has the idea of just venting the air from the set and sealing them in. I'm like, yes, they're all going to die. I want to see the Muppet Babies die. Yes, they're all going to die, and I'm quite happy about it. That's how much I dislike each and every one of these characters. So Discovery's trying to break out the Starfleet shields. They're all blee, blee, blee with the crappy... and just as they do, they're about to go off and escape. The Navarre fleet shows up. And I go, who are the Navarre? What's going on? It sounds like a name I'm supposed to know. Who are the Navarre? And I remember, right. Navarre are the Vulcan Romulans. Right. And they're there because... again, this insanity-fueled vision of it's because of Michael Burnham. They're there because she's the bestest ever, and they're there, and they got there exactly the right time because she's just the bestest ever. And she actually convinced Admiral Arsehole in the middle of the attack. Right, she hears that they bring her to the bridge for some reason, and she hears they're about to deploy pesticide or something inside Starfleet and kill everyone, and so she gets on the communicator, I guess, and get on the blower. Hello, Governor, and talks Admiral Arsehole into breaking off their attack so they can go. Okay, and so he does, and then the Vulcan Romulans also do as well. Why? But here's the thing. They could have just said, Navarre, please break off a dam, blah, blah, whatever. But no, they just don't even mention it, because it's like, there was no point. I don't even think you see the Vulcans again, like, in their fleet again. It was just a really pointless addition that makes the show look stupid. But nothing matters, baby. Nothing matters, and we're into the opening titles, and oh god, I hate it. I hate the titles. I hate everything about this. Otherwise, we have Saru is on the Kelpian ship, and he's trying to get through to the Kelpians somehow, who did the burn. But he has to like go gently. Then he doesn't. He's only lived with holograms, right? So they're pretending to be holograms, but they're somehow breaking me the idea they're not holograms slowly. Back on Discovery, the Osiris science guy is refusing to torture Book, and I'm saying, please do. He's please, just torture him. Yeah, again, I'm not really on board for torture. Not really on board for people being, asphyxiated. But yeah, I'm kind of on board. I think it's fine. So they've been, so the evil science guy has been turned good by the stunning and brave Stamets. Because they had a couple of sentences, right? And it's why people live in why people on the left of the aisle live in their echo chamber, right? Because they can't communicate with other people. They have this view, this like insane view that they win every argument, right? They do, but they don't. They just they run away. So that's basically what happened. But in their insane view, Stamets had a Twitter spat, and he won. And he talked him around. This is how they imagine it going. Whatever. What happened was, he's refusing to torture him, so they throttle him and say, you step out line again, we'll kill you and your family. I'll see you. Something like that. They then give it to the redneck guy to operate the... Apparently you just need to turn a switch. I don't understand why you needed a scientist. The scientist say, no, Book is a special empath. You can't do this. It'll be too painful. That's the point of torture, darling. That is the point of torture. So in another bit, and Star Trek Discovery is always the worst when it does this. In another bit of Star Trek bastardization, the evil redneck guy says, you're not going to get at this to Burnham. This is a no-win scenario. And Burnham's like, I don't believe in a no-win scenario. I'm like, well, of course you don't. Of course you were going to say that. So get this. And it's the stupidest thing. Everything I'm going to tell you is the stupidest thing ever. They make Burnham watch Book Be Tortured. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm up for this. And she's going to help get through it and say, don't worry, baby, I have you. Yeah, look, let me tell you, darling. There have been plenty of very, very well-loved people, who have been in very deep, committed marriages, relationships, fathers, husbands, wives, who have been tortured and murdered too, right? Even though their spouse says, I have you, baby. That doesn't really work. When your brain's being burned out. But it does, apparently. So, okay. But yeah, maybe the love that Burnham and Book share is nearly equal to the love of Adira and Grey. Yeah, that fictional nonsense. I mean, it's fiction. It's all fictional. I understand it's all fictional, but it's fictional without any bridge to reality whatsoever. Back on the Kelpie ship, Saru is about to tell the Kelpie kid that about the bird and what's going on. He's like saying, "Surely you've noticed we're different," and he's like breaking him in slowly. Then go back to Discovery and the Muppet Babies, remember them? So before the titles, they had all the air vented from the section of the ship they're in, right? So apparently, they've only got half an hour to live. What? No, half an hour till they're unconscious, and an hour till they live, till they die, right? How long can you hold your breath for? What? That doesn't make any sense at all. But no, okay. So it turns out when they vented the oxygen, they only did a little bit at a time. They said, let's vent the oxygen, but let's just open a hole about that big, right? And we'll let them have the entire left half of the ship, right? It'll take some time. But again, this show that says I love science clearly hates and doesn't understand science whatsoever in any way, shape, or form. So the torturing Book, and they're going to say, listen, if you don't help Book, he's going to be your only friend after Tilly and everybody dies in just under an hour. Oh, you wait, it's going to happen. Yeah, so finally Burnham agrees. Said, okay, I'll talk to him. I'll tell you, because they're trying to get the path to the dilithium planet, off him. I'll talk to him. I'll do it. And she goes in, she talks to him, but it's all a ruse. It's all a ruse to be stunning and brave. And they escape. She throws up an emergency force field to stop Osiris. She's like, oh, you meddling kids. And she hits Book with a magic shot, which is like this super adrenaline that lasts for about 47 minutes. I think that's how much we got to go. Which was conveniently to hand. Look at, and they go running away, yeah! And amazingly, Tilly really still is alive. I thought they were just no. The Muppet Babies, they're all going. The venting section of the ship takes a long time. I would have thought you open the door, it gets a bit chilly in space, but no, not in the Science Channel's world of Discovery. At least, science always takes the back seat when they can have a good touchy-feely, girly bonding moment, which is what they have throughout this. So then it gets really bad. It gets really cringy bad. It keeps getting worse. They up the ante as they go on. Don't think we've. I'm on page 4 of 9 right now. That gives you, and we're going to get worse as it goes on. So then it gets really bad. Do you remember those awful parts of season 2? With their really bad science, where they have to work things out what to do. Oh, well, that means we've got to recrystalline the dilithium. Well, it's okay. We can just use a matrix converter, and they solve impossible things. They say this is impossible, but I've solved it. You're the best as ever. Let's have ice cream. Oh, aren't we great? The Star Trek Discovery way. Imagine that. We basically have that as they work something out. While people are gasping for air, being Muppet Babies, well, we could do. So what's happened is Burnham's made it to the comms and put out a secret message to Tilly, telling him to go to a nacelle, referencing an unseen adventure, and then she wants them to blow off the nacelle or something, and it's a suicide mission. But of course they'll do it, and we all know they're going to survive, even though they should be dead already. Back on the Kelpie ship, the hollows start shutting down as the kid starts becoming more like aware of what's going on. But now he has to face it, the fear creature. And you know, I want to say, isn't this a bit of a bad idea? Like, Saru's like, now you must face this creature that is your sum of all your fears, so you can get out and move on. Now, I would like to remind you that this Kelpian kid calls the burn by clearly exhibiting some form of emotional stress. Maybe not scaring the shit out of him is a good idea if you don't want another burn. I listen. I'm no psychologist. That's just I would, give it a second thought maybe. But what does that matter? I mean, listen, this kid is apparently 130 odd years old, 125, 130 years old. Did they ever explain why he's so old? He looks like 30ish. Like, why did they ever explain why he's old? How he's lived so long? Maybe they did. But you know what? I don't think they didn't explain why they didn't vent the air out of the Tilly's section. But so like, by the way, Tilly is supposed to be in the hold, and they make it to they have to go to a nacelle. Aren't they sealed in? No, nothing matters. Nothing matters. So as everything's shutting down, Gray goes to check out the damage to the Kelpie ship. Nobody can get out of the hollow suite because the radiation's too bad out there. Which gets stupid when you find out what's really happening. But Gray can go out because he's not corporeal, right? He doesn't have a body to get affected by radiation, so he goes out, and he's and while he's checking out, Adir and Dr. Gay solve what's caused the burn. They work out that the Kelpian kid got upset and blew up all the delivery in the universe. The Muppet Babies are struggling to make it to the nacelles. Meanwhile, Muppet Babies are struggling to make it to the nacelles. Listen, it's good seeing Tilly out of breath. You get a feeling it's something you probably see quite a lot in real life with Michelle Wiseman right now. So yeah, again, they were locked in the hole in like a lower part of the ship. Now they're on the nacelles. Did they just seal them into like literally half the ship? I mean, like, that's not much. There's doors everywhere you could have closed. But okay, nothing matters, and I don't think they've ever seen Star Trek before. People making this. But yeah, and also you got to remember that the Muppet Babies, British crew, are stunning and brave, and nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. They're just going to do it, but they can't make it. They're not going to make it. It's too hard. But they give their one oxygen cylinder to the black helmswoman person, who we learnt earlier in a touchy-feely moment that she could hold her breath a super long time. She used to go diving or something as a kid. Oh god, it's so cringe. It's so cringe. As she leaves them to asphyxiate to death, she says, oh, I love you all. I hate you. I hate you all. It's just awful. It's just awful. It was one of the worst points of Star Trek ever. And there's been a lot of bad points in Curse with Trek, especially. Okay, so meanwhile, Book and Burnham, are escaping from the, whatever they're called, the bad guys, the red shirts, whoever they are, who all wear masks so you can't see their faces. They're probably cheaper to make, less makeup. And then, and so they run to a turbo lift and they hide in there, but they can't get. They can't go out, so they work out. They go through like the service hatch and outside into the what you think is going to be a elevator shaft. No, there's apparently an entire. We saw this a bit in the Enterprise, right? I'll ask you. There's an entire city inside, like way bigger than Starship Discovery. There's an entire city inside and you have flying magic elevators. Going over the city. That's just what they do. I don't know why. Why do they have to Jeffrey Tube? Why does anybody have to crawl if you have all this incredible amounts of space? It's because up until now, Star Wars wasn't made by utter blithering morons. Who they are. Now, I'm not exaggerating. I'm not exaggerating any of this here. Michael Burnham rides on top of a flying turbo lift across a freaking city. And I'm like, it's a city! That's supposed to be the interior of Discovery. And of course, she beats all the bad guys because, she's stunning and brave. And she makes it to the data core, I think, where she was going to, or whatever. At the same time, the black chick is just making it to the nacelle. Gasping for air, nearly dead. And so if the Muppet Babies could have made it any further by now, right? And they gave their one cylinder to the person who could hold their breath longest. Surely they're dead, right? Right? That would make sense. They're dead. Don't hold your breath. or do if you're one of the bridge crew, because it doesn't matter. You can survive forever. You can live underwater if you want, I guess. So she puts the thing into blow off the nacelle, and she can't make it out. She's two-sided, and one of the dots, the little servo robots, which is imbued with the sphere intelligence, comes and rescues her. I'll help you. Comes to try and drags her out. But who cares? Nothing matters. It's action time. Time for action, and the nacelle kind of blows off, sort of. It's still attached by gel wires or something, and they've blown out a warp. Book is in the other flying elevator, fighting with the evil redneck guy across a massive cityscape interior of Discovery. I mean, these people are such morons. It's beyond belief. And Osiris, you're getting a boss fight in the data core where she's fighting Burnham. Ooh, I wonder who's going to win. There's that much tension in it. So Osiris gets her much bigger ship, apparently, to take Discovery on board when they're blown out. Well, we can't lose the ship, she says. Weren't they about the same size last time we saw them? Again, who cares? Book, of course, wins his fight, punching the evil redneck guy down to the city, but many miles below, because it's this huge cavern. And Osiris is fighting Burnham, and the fight was in, and Osiris actually gets the upper hand. She's got her hands around Burnham's throat. I'm like, oh yeah, please, snap a neck, darling. And she pushes her into, I think it's a data core. It's kind of like liquid made out of little squares. It seems to be. So she pushes her in there, and it looks like she's drowning in it, right? She's asphyxiating in the data core. So then it looks like Burnham's dead. She nothing happens. She's stops twitching. She's inside, and Osiris is starts to walk away. And then there's a couple of shots come out from inside the data core because Burnham can survive anything. She's stunning and brave. And she kills Osiris and comes out the data core, spits out, vomits out a little bit. That's still inside her. And then she pauses for a second before doing whatever she needs to do, to give herself a compliment, because, she's the best as ever. And you got to keep saying it. And just, I'm like you. I never quit. I'm like, please quit. Please. Well, you've won. You won. Just please quit. No, we're having another season. And she stunningly and bravely reboots Discovery and saves everyone because she's the bestest ever. She beams all the bad guys off and restores air to everyone who, by dint of their mere association with the angelic Michael Burnham, are immune from asphyxiation. I'm telling you, this woman is so incredible and stunning and brave. She can stop you suffocating from lack of oxygen just because she's the best as ever. And that's Star Trek canon. That's actually Star Trek canon if this is canon. They get to the bridge, and Burnham is stunned. Just simply stunned. There's many of her wide-eyed, that Tilly says puts her in command because she's the acting captain, she's the ensign. Because in her words, I'm not making up a word, she says, "We need you to lead us." Oh, Michael. And so she has this plan. She has a great plan. A plan worthy of Jodie Whittaker's Doctor Who. Put you and I give you a rough idea how good the plan is. They're going to eject the warp core and then blow it. That will destroy... they'll blow a hole in the ship. Osiris' ship that's holding them. And if they don't get blown up, they'll be able to fly out, right? But Osiris Science Guy, who's now good, obviously, says that Book can work the spore drive because, whatever, nothing matters. Okay, nothing matters! Dr. Gay gives the Kelpie, an 130-year-old kid, some positive reinforcement. You're going to be the best ever. to overcome his fears, to go and face his fears. Gray has a bit of a wobble as well, but thankfully Dr. Gay is there, and he said, "Don't worry, we'll work it out, whatever it is," because he doesn't want to stop being corporeal because he kind of likes it. We'll work it all out. And I'm thinking, I guess you look, 130-year-old Kelpie ship could do it by mistake, so I guess they could work it out, but it seems a lot to promise. So then they spend about 5 minutes schlepping out doing what they just said. They already explained they're going to be doing twice. The Kelpie kid sees a recording of when the ship crashed and all his family was dead. His mother was the last to die. She dies of radiation burns. He goes, "No!" causing the burn. So we know that. Okay. Burnham enacts her plan. Black alert, and there's some really cringe dialogue. Oh, cringe really starts coming in now. Referring to some backstory or Booker that, again, I don't think we ever heard of, and it's just cringe bad. He said, "I never told you about my mentor, Cleveland Booker." Is that a reference to the Cleveland show? Maybe? Is that a diss to Seth MacFarlane? It seems to be, because that guy got cancelled. Okay, every day I try and live up to his name. Okay, nobody knows what that means. I mean, maybe we're supposed to know. Maybe they told us something about this, and I just didn't care enough to pay attention and listen. That could be. Maybe I missed it. Maybe I missed the detail about why the Kelpie kid is 130 years old. But then I think, oh no, we got Tilly and the Muppet Babies who didn't asphyxiate when they should have done 45 minutes ago. So I don't really think that you thought this through. I think that's much more likely. You just haven't thought this through. So they enact the plan. And of course, it works perfectly. There's some fake tension where he says, they eject the warp core, and she goes, "Okay, Book, activate sport, jump." And he's like, "Jump!" Okay, there's not, saying it over and over again isn't helping, firstly. And secondly, it's either going to happen or it's not. Shut up, okay? Just shut up. But it works perfectly. They get out, they blow up Osiris's ship, and so it looks like it's pretty good news for the 32nd century. That Michael Burnham showed up, because thus far she's solved the burn. She's found an unlimited supply of dilithium to replenish that was gone. She's utterly defeated the Emerald Chain, shown Starfleet that they're all a bunch of silly old fuddy-duddies, and she's the bestest ever. But that's just where we're starting. That's just starting, because the ultimate cringe is about to set in, because we need to linger for about 10 minutes on how bestest Burnham is, how the bestest ever Burnham is, because she is the bestest ever. We come to see how she reunited the LGBT ghetto, which is apparently, according to Stamets, is his family. He's got his husband and his daughter. When I say daughter, his non-binary, don't call me a girl daughter, who's now reunited with Gray, who's a hologram version. Okay, nothing matters. So Burnham's also eradicated death for the Trill. Okay, that's good to know. The Federation is reformed with the Trill rejoining. I guess now they can all live forever. Vulcans, I assume they rejoin. Through this, we get the awful Burnham monologuing dialogue, saying how we all just need to reach out and understand one another. So, excuse me, darling, excuse me. You're coming from a society that's so ideologically divided, mainly because, and I saw it become ideologically divided, mainly because your side of the political aisle went insane for, I think, 4 years, minimally 4 years. And there's been a cultural civil war going on, which I think is every possibility of upticking to an actual, genuine civil war, right? There's every possibility of that, of that going on now. All because you and your side of the aisle will not reach out across the and try and understand somebody. You just call them bigots and racists. And I'm sorry. I think this thing is going to age pretty badly, and they have a A quote from Gene Roddenberry is like the final screen. Basically saying like we should all try and understand and be nice to one another, which would be great if they did it, but I'm looking at ground zero, people who haven't done it, and I think have somewhat destroyed the world by not doing it. So, again, probably aged badly. So Admiral Arsehole takes a few minutes to apologize to Burnham. I got to apologize to you because I didn't realize, Burnham, that you were the bestest ever. And she is. I mean, unquestionably, she is the bestest ever now. She's saved the universe many times over. And now Saru stepped down from the captain of Discovery because he's going to help reintegrate and raise a 130-year-old Kelpian kid. How old is Saru? Is this kid about 100 years older than him? Who knows? Nothing matters. So there's no captain of Discovery. Who can you guess who the captain's gonna be? Yes, you guessed it. It's the stunning and bravest, bestest ever, Michael Burnham. So we end with Captain Burnham dramatically, somewhat tearfully walking to the captain's chair, flanked by the Muppet Baby space crew, strangely dressed as space Nazis now, for some unknown reason. And then we as she sits in the chair, we hear Michael Burnham's catchphrase, the catchphrase that we're gonna hear for next season. Wait for it, she says, "Let's fly. Let's fly." And then it gets even worse because Discovery is always at its worst when it's suckling off the dead corpse of Star Trek, and we get a rendition of the original series theme tune. But in my mind, I just heard this: cringe, 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 cringe. It's the cringiest thing I've ever seen, and it is the cringiest thing I've ever seen. Until season 4. So I'll see you back in the Rabbi for Another Planet, hoping and praying for a quick end to Western civilization, and maybe the technology of television altogether. So no more of this gets made. And I fear the good Lord is not going to heed my prayer. So at least we're clear for another, 6, 8, 10 months, how long it takes to make this crap. My name is Elon Beck and the Rabbi from Another Planet. Please like, share, subscribe, and ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.